Class 10th, the main course reader book, First Flight, Poetries, Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. For what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. By Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost was an American poet known for his realistic writings, and his writings are based on the complex rural social life structure of the 19th century. It derives important philosophical themes and lessons for life in a very simplified manner for people to understand. The theme of this poem is the prospect of catastrophic end of the world. The poet is visualizing when and how the world will end, whether it will end with fire or whether it will end with ice. Thematic appreciation. In this poem, the poet has expressed the profound idea of the end of the world. And he says the world will end in either of the two ways, either by ice or by fire. He has used the poetic device symbolism to compare fire and ice with self destructing human emotions of hatred and desire. He has expressed the strength and power of influence of human emotions to contribute to the destruction of the world and humanity. This poem very artistically underpins the philosophy that if we let loose our human emotions and let them rule our lives, they can destroy us and everything around us. So it kind of projects a lesson of how to and why to control your emotions, because if they are let loose and if they are in excess, either hatred or desire, it can lead to catastrophic end of world and things around us. This poem is a short 8 lines poem made in 2 stanzas, 4 lines each. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So we can see the first, third, and fourth line have the same ending consonant sound, and the second line has a different sound. So the rhyming scheme of the poem is A B A A. Stanza 1. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Poetic devices in this stanza. First device is enjambment. The statement, some say the world will end in fire and some say in ice, is a standard English language statement. It has been broken down into chunks just to put up with the rhyming scheme of the poem. Second device is personification. The poet is personifying the power of fire and the power of human mind and emotions in terms of a person's strength and how they are strong enough to destroy things. Next device is imagery. The poet is creating a scenic description of fire as to how strong and how influential it is. When we read these lines, we can picture fire as a very important element and strong element which can lead to destruction of things around us. Next device is alliteration. Favor, fire, it's the same consonant sound of F. World, will, the same consonant sound of W. Let's go to the literal meaning of fire of this stanza. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold for those who favor fire. The poet says that different people have different opinion of how the world will end. The catastrophic end of the world and the humankind is debatable, and he says some people say that it will end because of the warm human emotions depicted by fire, and some believe because of the cold human emotions like hatred and jealousy. But poet himself favors the belief that the world will end with fire, because the strong human emotion of desire is so strong and it is so vital that it can definitely lead to some catastrophic events. If we look at the example of Mahabharata, the desire that Duryodhan had of getting the throne of Hastinapur led him to do certain things which were so detrimental and which were so deciding that it led to the Mahabharata war. So, if we go by this example and we try to understand poet's opinion, it is very clear that fire or the human emotions of love, desire, and want is so strong and it is so influential that it can drive a person to do actions which can decide the fate of his life and things around us. So, desire is such a strong human emotion that it can lead to severe destruction. Stanza 2. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. The first poetic device in this line is enjambment. So, if we read the line to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice, this is a statement and it has been broken down into two sections just to fit in the rhyming scheme of the poem. The next device is imagery. The poet is presenting the picture of ice being so strong that it can cause destructions massive enough to lead to the catastrophic end of the world. Next device is personification. Poet is personifying ice as a person strong enough to create destructions and devastations. So let's go to the literal meaning of this stanza. Poet says that he is contradicting his previous statement where he was favoring fire. Now he's saying, just in case, if the whole thing had to repeat itself, just in case, if the world is going to perish twice, he says that hatred and the colder feelings, the ice ridden feelings of hatred and jealousy, are also strong enough to cause this destruction and the end of the world. He says that hate is such a strong emotion that can drive a person's actions and guide a person's role and change his destiny and things around us. If we consider the status of world wars, the extent of hate the Allied and Central powers had for each other led to this world war and it drove the entire world into it, leading it to a world war. So, hatred, jealousy, and the colder human emotions, which are strong enough to create a phenomena and to guide human actions to lead to certain bad things, they are strong enough to lead to a world war. So, they are strong enough to lead to the destruction of the world. So, by explaining the strength of human emotion in terms of fire and ice, the warmer and colder human emotions, the poet is trying to depict that we have that tendency of being good and bad, evil and of being good and evil at the same time. If we do not control our emotions and if we let them loose, it can lead to destruction and it can lead to catastrophic end of the world. So he gives a subtle lesson of controlling your emotions and stabilizing and keeping a balance between how we feel.